Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. So today I'm doing the build a book tag? Build a book tag, I think is what it's called. Yeah, build a book tag. I first saw this on Victoria's channel from What Victoria Read, so I'll link her video down below. This just seemed like a really fun tag video where you kind of build a book, you answer questions and it like builds up your ideal book. This is not going to be a cohesive book, I'm going to tell you that right now. Because I have eclectic tastes and I like both gory horror books and fluffy contemporary books, and those things don't usually mesh together. But yeah, so I'm going to start going through the questions. First question is genre. Recommend a genre that reflects your book's ideal mood. So mine would have to be a horror thriller type book, probably heavier on the horror elements than the thriller elements, but I like the collection of characters, like a closed cast. I like the tight focus on a situation and the emotions within that situation. I don't know if you can hear that noise from outside, but it's very annoying. Anyway, I also like, from thrillers, I like the tension. Again, it's the exploration of a character's emotions and how people react when put in unpleasant situations, and all that kind of good stuff. That's the kind of thing my book would go for. Next question is main character. If you could pull a main character from any other book to read about, who would it be? This was a really interesting question. I think I would pick Stevie, the main character from Truly Devious. I've only read the first book in the series and it was a while ago, but she's one of my favourite characters. I think she's a really interesting person to base a book around because she's so interested in solving this unsolved murder case. And because of that, I think she could have flexibility in that she would work in a different book setting, whereas characters I might maybe like more wouldn't work in different book settings because they're so integral to their book. So yeah, I'll pick her. I think she's interesting, she's got some nice personality stuff going on, and yeah, she could probably survive my horror thriller book. The next question is supporting character. Who would be your main character's sidekick? And I'm actually going to pick Blue from the Raven Boys. Firstly because I just really like the idea of Stevie and Blue hanging out together and solving a crime together. Blue's also got that kind of curious nature. I really like her sense of humour, and even though she's technically the main character of her book, it feels more like the Raven Boys are the main characters. Like, she works quite well in an ensemble cast, so I could see her working well as a sidekick. The next question is trope. What trope can you not get enough of? This is a hard one because there's a lot of tropes I really like. I'm gonna go, since it's like a horror thriller thing, I'm gonna go for a theme park of doom type situation. It says recommend some books that have used this trope. I think I did do a video where I talked about several books that use this trope, but the one that I really like is Dreamwoods by, I think it's by Patrick Lacey. Is it by Patrick Lacey? It is by Patrick Lacey, that's correct. Yeah, Dreamwoods by Patrick Lacey is a fantastic version of this book. There'll be more. The Goosebumps Horrorland, One Day at Horrorland was the original one that got me into this trope. But yeah, I just really like, I've got way more on my TBR. I might list some more below in the description, or I'll just link to that video if you want to know more about them. But yeah, I love this trope so much. I think it never gets old for me. I could read like 1,000 books about scary theme parks and I would still be into it. The next prompt is plot twist. What book has your favourite plot twist? Okay, I'm going to list two here. I'm not going to tell you what the plot twists are, obviously, because that would spoil everything. The Wife Between Us has such a good plot twist, and I think it is the only time I've ever, like, it's so rare that I get that shocked by a plot twist, but The Wife Between Us certainly has done that. The other one is Dead to Her by Sarah Pinborough, because this book, I feel like it gets spoiled anyway because of the categorization of this book, and it's not a huge twist, it happens fairly early on, but it's not mentioned on the blurb, and that twist just made me really, really happy because it turned a mediocre thriller story into something I was suddenly 100% invested in, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But those are my two favourite plot twists that come to mind. The next question is relationships. What kind of relationships are important in your book? And give an example of one that you've read with that. So I want more platonic male-female friendships. I want more platonic all friendships, but just like male-female people hanging out, particularly young people, like school-age teenagers or people who go to uni, just hanging out, being friends, because so often I think I'm getting that relationship and then suddenly it turns into a romance and I'm like, but I was relating to this and now it's not what I wanted. It's not quite perfect, but Radio Silence has a really good example of a platonic friendship. It's not like the gender roles aren't quite there, but it's really good. And I can't actually remember if Radio Silence has a trans character or not, so I might regret saying that. But regardless, Radio Silence is the perfect example of a close platonic friendship that I want to see, and I would like more books that have just like casual cuddling between friends or being really physical contact, like complimenting each other without it being romantic. Like that's what happens, that's all of my friendships, and yet that's not a thing. So yeah, definitely want more of that. Next question is villain, and what villain would you steal for your book? This was a tough one. I'd have to go with Pennywise from It by Stephen King, because Pennywise is just almost the perfect villain in my eyes. Like, I love the idea of something that will adapt to your fears and is different for every single person. And I think Pennywise is the first one I'm aware of doing that concept. I know it's been used in a couple of different things since, but the fact that he's a creepy clown most of the time is already terrifying, and then the fact that he can also adapt to your fears is really good, and I just think he's a really tough villain to overcome. So the next question is ending. What type of ending do you like? Do you want it open-ended? Do you want it all wrapped up? And then to give some examples of my favourite endings. So I have two main things that I like in my books, and again it depends if what kind of book I'm reading. So with if it's a queer book, I want a happy ending. I just want a happy ending. I want a cute, happy, gay ending where everything is resolved and it's all fluffy and nice and the characters are happy, and that's all I want. Like, real life is hard, and there's some people who love angst in their romances and that kind of thing, but I just don't. I just want, it's not just queer ones, it's just if it's queer, that's a bonus. Like, that is top tier. And then the other type of ending I like is so hard for me to articulate, but I always describe it as tragic. And this isn't a sad ending, because I don't like sad books. I don't like books that are explicitly about sad things, but I like hard books. So the example I'm going to give is Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill. And this is the perfect example, because that kind of book is so heartbreaking that it couldn't have like a happy ending. Like, it wouldn't fit. And I just love books that when you finish reading them, you're like, it just guts you, you know what I mean? It's not like you're sad, it's not like you're crying, but you're just like emotionally devastated. So yeah, those are the two types of ending I like: completely and utterly fluffy and happy, or emotional wreck, and those are the only two that I will accept. Yeah, that is all of the questions, so that's the book I've written. I guess for the horror book, the ending would be more on the tragic side, probably, if I'm trying to build a cohesive book, which is not really what I've been doing. But yeah, let me know what you think of this book. If you've got any comments on the things I've talked about, that'd be great. If you want to do this tag, then do it. I kind of gotten bad at tagging specific people because everything's just thrown into disarray. But yeah, if you want to do this and you're watching, then I tag you. Yeah, I would love a discussion of this kind of thing, and I want to see more people doing this tag because I think it's a really good one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out massively, and I hope to see you next time.